Hey folks, welcome back to Candace Boxing Channel. Wow, did we ever see a great fight between Chisora and Wallin. Not a pretty fight, not a tremendous display of technical boxing, but a display of heart and courage and raw emotion. And one of the reasons why this sport is the very best of sports. Chisora walks out, he's all in his black, like a cowboy gunslinger outfit with his black fedora, his Union Jack bandana around his face, emblazoned on the back his two six guns, shooters, and number 49. The atmosphere in the crowd was fabulous. I mean, the entirety of the crowd seemed to be supporting Derek Chisora, and even Otto Wallin, who'd been waiting in the ring for maybe like 5 minutes or so, kind of, claps Chisora's entrance. Chisora, from the very get-go, threw everything that he had and he could borrow at Otto Wallin. We'll get to the judges' scorecards in a moment. I was making notes throughout the fight, and I'll just run through some of the notes I made. And there's going to be a theme to these notes, and the theme is courage. At the beginning, Chisora starts fast, he's swarming, he's hooking to the body, a decent left hand he caught from Wallin, clear round one to Chisora. In two, Chisora, he's switching to the southpaw stance. It was confusing Wallin, I thought. My note said that it wasn't pretty. It looks like a street fight. A couple of big shots to the body. I think Chisora was definitely going for an early KO here. The ref warned Chisora for use of the head. Chisora landed some good hooks, and I made a note that Chisora was able to neutralize Wallin's southpaw. Second round to Chisora. Third round, ref is warning Chisora off again for grabbing behind the head. And I made a note, the ref, Latham, would be lynched if he DQ'd Chisora. I think he'd certainly need more than a police escort, he'd need a military escort if he disqualified Chisora. Chisora continuing to bob and weave. Wallin did not appear to be intimidated. I made another note, Chisora has no finesse here. He's walking down Wallin with a big right hand. Took some good hits from Chisora. I've got this round closer, but I still gave it to Derek. In the fourth round, Wallin tried to tie up Chisora, a couple of good rights from Wallin. I thought Chisora at one point looked a little unsteady on his legs. There were some big left hands from Wallin as well. Chisora was noticeably slowing down, and Wallin seemed to be getting into a rhythm. I gave the fourth round to Wallin. In the fifth round, this is where the cut occurred, and I, without rewinding it, I'm not quite certain if it was a clash of heads. I think it was. There was some clinching, some big shots. Wallin took well. Chisora's face was reddening up quite badly. In the sixth round, the doctor was called to examine this cut. And I was swapping notes on Facebook Messenger with Andy from Andy's Cavern in Scotland. And I said, oh my God, Russ Anber is going to have to perform a miracle to prevent this being a stoppage. Well, Russ Anber did perform a miracle, but there were other miracles performed, and the other miracles were all performed by Derek Chisora, who, as an older guy, I'm cheering him on because he was getting one in for all the older guys here. He was turning back the clock, and he was doing what Derek Chisora has been famous for doing. Just throwing everything, all heart, all courage, all the time. It wasn't pretty. It was scrappy. It was downright ugly. And at times it didn't really look like a boxing match. At times it looked more like a street fight. Wallin was doing his very best to make it a boxing match, but that was never going to be Chisora's game plan. I said Chisora was brave so the sixth round I gave to Wallin. The seventh round I said Chisora brave, big heart, trying his best. He's defiant. The ref was again warning Chisora to keep his work tidy. I gave the seventh round to Chisora. In the 8th round, Chisora keeps coming forward, landing huge shots. Of course, he's taking hits as he's taking a hit to give a hit, taking a couple of hits to give a hit, to be honest with you. Wallin fights back off the ropes. My other note is, what a fight. The ref stopped to see action, slows down. I thought that in the 8th, we might have seen a KO. But, you know, we didn't. Wallin managed to work his way through that. Chisora's face is looking like a real mess. The 9th round, which is a 10-8 round, this is the round where Chisora did drop Wallin. Chisora's face is bleeding like a stuck pig, is what is my notes. He was charging in. Wallin actually did recover in the last few seconds of that fight. So, you know, at one point I thought, oh, we've got it. And in fact, I had my money on a KO in the 8th or 9th round. So, you know, I was thinking there was a chance for me to actually make some money as opposed to just sort of, you know, stopping my losses. But fair play to Wallin. In the 10th round, Chisora was looking dead on his feet. He's still going at it. Wallin did better in this round, but I've got the dog as well with Chisora. You know, the fight, that stuff that just keeps certain fighters going, that was with Chisora. And I'm not saying that Wallin didn't come to fight. You'll probably see comments, I've already seen a few about, you know, that Wallin wasn't trying. I think that's bogus. It was just Chisora fighting the fight that he wanted to fight, and Wallin wasn't able to fight the fight that he had planned on fighting. However, the 10th round I did give to Wallin. The 11th round was probably Wallin's round as well. He seemed rejuvenated. Again, my note is all heart from Chisora. Wallin seems happy to box, but again, the dog in the fight is with Chisora. Another attack in the latter part of the round. And the 12th round, in my view, Wallin needed a knockout to win. And Chisora landed a big left, another left, and there was a big right. There was another knockdown in the final seconds from a big right in the 12th round. And that put it, you know, as a clear, if there'd been any doubt before on the scorecards, the second 10-8 round put it clear, unanimous decision. The judges' scorecards were 117, 109, 114, 112, which I found really kind of strange with two 10-8 rounds, and 116, 110, which I would say is probably about where you know, I've got it. But what a good fight. Not pretty, not technical, just a good fight from a man who, truly speaking, has no right at 41 years of age to be able to fight like that. He was a throwback to fighters that we like to talk about in the past. The cut was ugly. I was worried that there could have been a stoppage, which would have been a travesty. But Chisora just did absolutely everything. If you're a Derek Chisora fan, you know, you've simply got to admire this guy for what he did. And I take nothing away from Otto Wallin, but I am pleased that Otto Wallin is not the big puncher that some other fighters are. And so on that note, I want to say I do not want to see Derek Chisora fight any elite fighter with a big punch. If you listen to Derek Chisora talk now at 41, and you imagine when he's my age, I'm 65, well, Derek has taken a lot of blows to the head. He's got a lot of life ahead of him, and let's not be cheering on for him to be in the ring with somebody who could do terrible damage, long-lasting damage. So if there's going to be talk about Chisora fighting the winner of Dubois and Parker or anything like that, I don't want to see it. At the end of the fight, Chisora was on that endorphin high, and he was talking about fighting Anthony Joshua in Tottenham Hotspur Stadium, Alexander Usyk. No, I don't want to see any elite fighter fighting Derek Chisora. It's you know, I've seen Larry Holmes get beat by Mike Tyson when Holmes was well past his best, and we all remember Muhammad Ali getting beaten by Larry Holmes when Muhammad Ali was well past his best. There's nothing to be gained other than money, which, truly speaking, is not worth it compared to health. So let's, if Derek Chisora is going to have another fight, let's see him fight somebody who is not a big puncher. Personally, I can't think of a better end to a career. Like, this is wonderful, right? He has a great victory where he produces absolutely everything there is to produce in front of a partisan crowd who loved him. Call it a day, my friend. Call it a day. You know, I'm sure that he's made more than enough money for the rest of his life and his family's life, and he's probably got a career in boxing somehow, in broadcasting or whatever. I would hope that those around Derek Chisora are able to persuade him that this is now enough. But if anything, if we've seen anything over 18 years, Derek Chisora does march to the beat of his own drum. So whatever he does going forward, I wish him all the very, very best. So if you've liked this little report on Derek Chisora's victory over Otto Wallin, please hit like, please subscribe, please share, and wherever you are in the world, have a fabulous day. Cheers. Bye-bye.